Okay, so I wanted to really show off how activated works versus launch, right? On launch, on activated. Let me show you. I've got this solution, and here's app 17. We were just working on it a minute ago, right? If I go into my app CS, you can see there's no changes, right? It's still exactly the same as before. It still has on launched. I still go and get it. The only difference is I don't store the arguments as a string. I store them as an observable collection of string. That way I can keep adding to it, and it's observable, so it'll update the UI for me, right? It's the only change. The only change is it's observable collection now. But look what I did to the XAML. All right, so here's my XAML, and I have a button, and it's behind it is a list box, and that list box is bound to that observable collection. Let me show you. Here I say the data context is going to be args value. Remember, args value is the observable collection, and then I just bind to it. I just bind to the data context of the page. Easy enough. Then what happens when I click this button? Check it out. I have this cool Windows.System.Launcher.Launch URI async. This is basically when you click a URL in a browser, it's doing this. You're doing it inside your C# app here is all. And it does it asynchronously so it doesn't kill you as well. I pass in whatever I want. So now let me go back to Visual Studio, or I'm in Visual Studio. Let me show you this. So I've got two apps, app 1 and app 17. Those two, and I don't know why I called it app 1. It's actually app 18. It's kind of mind-boggling. Doesn't matter. Those are identical, absolutely identical except for one character. This one, 17, calls app 1 in its protocol for activation, and then app 1 calls app 17. In fact, if I were just to open it up and show you its main page, it's the same as the other. It just says app 17. They call each other. See what I mean? So watch this. Super duper. All right, let me see. Bam, bam. Go down here. I'm going to say into the simulator, go. Into the simulator it goes. Now to make this work right, I'm going to snap it. Right, so because I want to have two open at the same time so you can see what's happening. And when I click send, the other one's not even running, right? It's going to run for the first time. Send. Ran for the first time, and because I used protocol activation, it has one entry in its list of protocols that it's received. If I were to click this again, bam, it gets another one. Page doesn't refresh or anything, right? Same one. Bam, bam, bam. And look at this. If I click this one, I can. What's happening? Why is it hiding? Why is it hiding? What? There we go. That's funny. Click, 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 click. Same as before. Bam, 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 bam. Can I say bam one more time? But you see what's happening? This is very interesting. Two applications are passing information back and forth to each other. Isn't that interesting? Think about that in the context of the share charm. The share charm allows me to pass an entire payload of anything from one to another. This is restricted to a URI. What's the difference? Well, one is the payload. The other is interaction. I'm doing this completely programmatically. There is no charm. There is no OS brokering. Am I at risk of anything? Not really, because for one, I am constrained at whatever I send, but even more so, I'm constrained to the receiving app to parse it the way it wants to as well. Pretty awesome, don't you think? Bam, back and forth, back and forth. Goes to show that activated runs and on launch doesn't. Remember? So I'll go back to my app CS so we can look at it. And so it's the activated and launched. I wonder how you debug this. Do you want to see? It's easy, right? These guys are already running. This guy here, this is app 17. Here's app 17. Here's its activated. I'll put a breakpoint here. Now, all I need to do is call a URI. I can do it this way, calling into it. See, I hit my breakpoint. I can step into that. And when I do, I can go into args and interrogate their value. And see, I can go right into it. And I can see, in fact, let me just make it a quick watch so we can look at it together. Bam. And if I go into it, I get to see there's its type or its kind, protocol. And because it is not cast, I can just let it go ahead and cast here I'll step into it. Badoom, 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 badoom. And now args has been recast to protocol activation args. And I can say quick watch again. And now when I go into it, you can see it also has the URI. And I can, whatever you want to do with it from there, right? It's a URI. You just go to town. It is kind of confusing. How would you debug this sort of thing? You just run it. You debug it, and then you call protocol activation against it, and it hits it. Beautiful. Pretty neat, isn't it? How you can talk back and forth and you get activated but not launched. It's a way of kind of passing information between two apps that might know each other. Here's what's even cooler, and I mean really cool. Watch this. If I won't run it. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to where I call app 1, and I'm going to call app 1x. And if I call app 1x, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say run. Right? It'll execute again. Here we go. And now when I send it, it's going to fail, right? No, it's not going to fail. It's going to say there are no apps associated to this. Would you like to look for an app in the store? What's brilliant about this, if I look for an app in the store, it will search by app 1x. So it will find all of the apps that use that protocol so that I can start putting together missing apps this way. It's a cool way of discovery. It's a really cool way of discovery. All right, protocol activation. Powerful, easy, neat. Best of luck.